I still filming? What? Hey there, I'm Elise and welcome back to my channel. So some of you who are the most loyal subscribers out there might remember that 3 years ago I made a video about being scammed by Korean real estate agents. And if you remember correctly, I said that this was going to be a two-part video. But unfortunately, even though I did shoot a second video, I lost the footage and then I didn't get around to reshooting again until today. So we're back with We Got Scammed by Korean Real Estate Agents, the sequel. If you didn't check out part 1, definitely go check out that video to see what it was like during my previous apartment hunting experience here in Seoul. I don't live in that apartment anymore, and I think that the place that I live in now is such an upgrade, so it just shows that even I had to learn from my past mistakes when apartment hunting. But I don't want you guys out there to make those mistakes, and that's why I make these videos. I've always considered doing a room tour, but I just feel like it's a little overdone. There's already so many room tours out there on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. So if I ever do make one, I really want to make it something that has new information. Like maybe I'll show you what you can get for the different prices in terms of comparing the amenities and room size, or maybe I can show you where I bought the furniture in my house. Just let me know in the comments down below if there's something that you'd like to see that maybe you haven't seen before, or maybe other people haven't shown you about their home or what it was like to get their home. No matter what I do, I always want to make sure that it's useful for you guys out there. But anyway, let's get into the story because that's why you guys are here. Basically, my roommate and I went apartment hunting. We visited a few different real estate agents, we looked at a few different resources, and I just saw a lot of things that were very sketch. So I wanted to share my experiences and my roommate's experiences with you. Keep in mind that my intention is never to scare anyone. I don't want to dissuade anyone from going out there and trying to find their own apartment here in Seoul or in Korea as a whole. But I just want to share with you guys what kind of things I experienced and what kind of strange things I noticed so that you can be vigilant while you're apartment hunting. I still strongly believe that it's very worth it to go out and try to look for your own place here in Korea, and I think my current place really speaks volumes to what you can find, what you can get when you really know what to do and you know what to look for. But before I get into it, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram for more advice, stories, and peeks into my real life in Korea. So my roommate's experience was a bit different from mine. While mine got kind of fishy towards the end and I didn't end up with what I thought I was going to get, hers was more fishy from the very beginning. And I think that's because she went towards more foreigner-friendly realty agencies. Like they say that they're geared toward helping foreigners find a place to live. And you can tell I don't mean it because I keep doing this. There were a lot of red flags throughout her process, and I've always been a bit skeptical of these types of real estate agencies that are targeting foreigners, and now I'm even more skeptical after watching her try to go through one to find a place to live. Here's why. First of all, let me stop saying my roommate. You guys know who my roommate was. It was Gladys. And Gladys has made appearances in other videos of mine. I hope she's okay with me name dropping her right now. Hi Gladys! And while I can name who my former roommate was, unfortunately I can't name the real estate agency that she was going through. There are a lot of very strict defamation laws here in Korea, so if I tell you the agency, then I've slandered them or something. But basically, I think they're all pretty much the same, so listen closely to my story and watch out, kids. So these agencies are like the sirens of Korea, singing to the foreigners, trying to get them to come to their agency to find a place to live, but they're really taking advantage of the fact that you don't know how the system works and that you might not be able to speak Korean. They basically advertise themselves as being able to speak whatever language it is that you need. English, they can do it. Chinese, they can do it. Japanese, they can do it. Vietnamese, they can do it. Thai, everything. Whatever you need, they're gonna say that they can get a place for you and that the whole experience can take place in your language. And that part is not a lie. So it can be very attractive to somebody who doesn't know what they're doing and they can't speak Korean. It's very convenient. But it comes with some pitfalls. So of course, they're gonna start by asking you what your price range is. They're gonna ask you what neighborhood you want to live in, and all that is standard. But where it starts getting weird is that the only places that they have available for you are either in the basement or they're on the rooftop. And these are the reject places as far as Koreans are concerned. Let's start with the basement rooms. So first of all, once you enter an apartment complex, in this case it's usually a villa, then the basement is always kind of separated from the rest of the homes in the building. So you're like, while everyone else is going upstairs, you're not only going downstairs, but you're like in a completely different area. And so this can be a little bit unsafe. So if the apartment ever got broken into, which I'm not saying happens a lot, but if it did, the person in the basement is the most likely target because nobody's going to hear them and they're closest to the exit to escape. So I don't think that this is where people typically want to live for that reason. Then on top of that, because you're in the basement, you don't have a lot of ventilation. There's usually no windows. Maybe there's a tiny window at the top towards the ceiling, but in general you don't have any windows that you can open. So that's another reason that people don't typically choose these rooms. Then, as typical with the basement, these are the rooms that are more likely to be flooded during the rainy season. They're more likely to have bugs and insects also because of the rainy season. Like, it's just very humid down there and it can get moldy. Like, they're not good. I've seen a lot of homeowners these days are putting an effort to renovate. They're putting an effort to renovate their places. So the basement rooms aren't ugly. They look very nice. Well, not all of them. Some of them are ugly. But most of them nowadays look pretty nice. But there are cons to the pros of looking nice. You get mold, bugs, no ventilation, somebody might rob you. So there you go. And because even the realtors and the homeowners know this, that's why these rooms tend to be on the cheaper side. Like, maybe they're a good size, but they're like 400,000 or even 300,000 won. So I mean, they know that they're offering something that people don't really want, so they have to make the price lower. And who are they going to offer these rooms to? You, the foreigner, because you don't know any better, or that's what they hope. Now let's move on to the rooftop rooms. These are also not very desirable for different reasons. It's not like what you see on K-dramas. That is very romanticized, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone really, for real, having drinking parties out on the rooftop as if the whole rooftop belongs to them. That is not your rooftop. If there's access to the rooftop, it's everyone in the building's rooftop. So that means there might be people who take their laundry up there to dry their laundry. Some people might take food up there to dry their food. I've seen a lot of like red pepper drying. I've seen some fish drying. I've seen some fruit drying. And they take up like a large space of the roof. So that is not your rooftop. In some cases, you can pay extra to have the access to the rooftop. Like, some of the apartments I've seen have a balcony. That's what that shape was, balcony. But that's gonna cost you more like 900,000 won to 1 million won if you want the whole rooftop to yourself. So just keep that in mind. It's not your rooftop. You can have people up there and drink up there, but then your neighbors can complain that you did that because it's everyone's rooftop. Then there's the room itself. The size will vary, so I won't talk about the size, but as far as I know, they're very cold in the winter and they're very hot in the summer because, I mean, you're on the roof and there's no other places around you. So there won't be a lot of insulation to keep you warm, and there won't be a lot of, shade to keep the sun around, keep the sun off your entire house, like it's just shining on you up there on the roof. Now, if these places are in your budget, maybe you can only afford 300 to 4,000, said that wrong. Maybe you can only afford 300,000 to 400,000 won per month, or you just really like the idea of living on the rooftop, or you prefer to be in the basement away from everyone else so that you can't hear people closing the door like I just heard. Don't know if you guys heard that. But if that's, if that's in your budget and that is something that you're interested in, I'm not trying to discourage people from living in basements or rooftops. What I don't like is that these realtors are only showing you the basement and the rooftop because those are the places that Koreans don't want. Meanwhile, for the same budget, you can find places that are in much more desirable areas. You can find places that have all the amenities you need, like free Wi-Fi, free TV, free whatever. And that's not the rooms that they're offering you. That was bad grammar. Those are not the rooms that they're offering you. And these rooms that I'm talking about, the better rooms, they might be in the same exact neighborhood that you were looking at in the first place. Like they could be across the street from you, but those aren't the places that these real estate agencies have. The ones that are geared towards foreigners, they don't even have nice places to show you. They only have these places that no one wants, and they do it on purpose. And just showing Gladys these homes isn't where the story really got weird for me. It was when she started to question the rooms that they were showing her. She mentioned that she was going to see some other realtors and that she wasn't only going to use them, and then they started to use scare tactics. They were telling her that there weren't going to be any other places that she could find for her budget. They were telling her that what they were showing her was all that there was out there and that any other realtor would show her the same things. They were telling her that she might not be able to communicate with the other realtors, so she might as well use them. It was just use us because nobody else can do anything better for you than what we can do. But little did they know, she had a me, and a me already lived in better places than what they were showing and had already seen better places than what they were showing for the same price. So, you thought. And then they just got more and more aggressive. If she didn't say that she was gonna come on a certain day, they were texting her, hey, when are you coming? When did you say you're coming? What time did you say you're coming? And when she didn't let them know about it, they were just like, hey, just so you know, that place that I showed you before, that's gonna be gone soon. So if you don't hurry up and come get it, you're not gonna have a place to live. It was super weird. I mean, real estate agents do often say things like, if you don't take it today, I can't guarantee that it's gonna be there tomorrow. That's a fact. And sometimes the place you saw yesterday is taken tomorrow because they've shown it to multiple people. But it was just too aggressive. And I really felt like they were trying to take advantage of the fact that she wasn't Korean. So I convinced Gladys to go see some other realty agencies. She does speak Korean very well, so there was no reason not to. I mean, I went along with her, but that was just for purely moral support. So we found some other agencies using the strategies that I've shown in my other videos. And we ended up finding a place that was super nice and just a little bit higher than what she was offered from the other realty agency. I think that agency was showing rooms for 500,000 won, and she ended up paying 600,000 won for a place that had free Wi-Fi, free TV. It was brand new. It was beautiful. It was much nicer than the place that I lived in previously. So it just, again, goes to show just because those agencies told you that they're going to offer you the nicest place and they told you that they're going to be giving you the best deal, doesn't mean that they necessarily are. So it's better to go about it like a regular, Korean person, like a citizen, and go see the different options and get the best place for the price. And that should be where the story ends happily ever after. But there was more to deal with the previous agency. Gladys was very nice because I probably would have just stopped talking to them, but she let them know that she signed a contract with a different realty agency and that she no longer needed their services. Their mask fell off basically and they started to show their true colors. They were asking her how did you manage to find a place? You don't speak Korean. Who helped you find the place if we didn't help you? Tell us what agency you used because we want to talk to them and find out how they got a foreigner, like you, to sign an apartment contract. They were just so nosy about how it was possible that a foreigner could find another place to live. And they clearly thought that she had no Korean ability and that they had this in the bag if they just kept pushing and kept threatening and kept saying that there was no other option. Very much scare tactics, very much manipulation. And I'm not saying that every real estate agency geared towards foreigners is a scam. But I do feel like a lot of them are taking advantage of the fact that you might not speak Korean, you might not be familiar with the system here, and just by offering you any place in your language and making you feel more comfortable, they can get those rooms filled that nobody wanted. And again, if you watch my previous videos, this is not something that you can put past a regular realty agency. They're also going to show you reject rooms at first because they just want somebody to take those rooms. They have to show it to you. But not every room should be a reject room. Not every room should be in the basement, and every room is on the rooftop. Where are the rooms in the middle of the building? So if you couldn't tell, I do not like these agencies. I do not like these like foreigner friendly gimmicky kind of places because I just feel like they're not always offering you the best that they could be. And even the options that I've given in my previous videos have kind of gone under the assumption that you can speak Korean or you have somebody who can help you navigate through the system. So it's not an easy thing to do, but I think that the options that you're gonna have are so much better and so much nicer, and you're gonna have such a much more livable place if you challenge yourself, go for it, and try to get one of those places. Alright, so I hope that you enjoyed this story time, and I hope that I've shared a lot more information about things that you should watch out for when you're apartment hunting here. If you haven't checked out my previous videos on how to find an apartment or general tips and tricks on how to navigate through the house hunting system here, go ahead and check those out. And if after all of that you feel that I've left something out or you have more questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I don't have a lot more content planned around house hunting, but I do have a lot more content planned around how to set up your life here. And what I want always is to give you guys a lot of details so that you can come and succeed here too. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so that you don't miss out on my next video. And feel free to follow me on Instagram for just random small snippets of what I do here in Korea. Thanks for watching. Bye! 다음에 봐요.